Hey everybody, it's your favorite gentleman, Marcus Norman of Gentleman Style Podcast Show. And today you all are in for an absolute treat. I have a dynamic speaker today here on the Gentleman Style platform. This man you're going to enjoy. We're going to dive deep today and go through some of his story and a powerful book that is now available. And you definitely want to pay attention to this man. So here we go. Stay tuned. Stay with us. Here we go. Hey everybody, it's your boy Marcus Norman from Gentleman Style Podcast Show. And today we are interviewing a very powerful guest. This man is powerful. This man is incredible. Mr. Robert A. Belle. He's the book author of the book, Blow the Lid Off. And it is teaching us how to reclaim our stolen creativity, increase your income, and let your light shine through. This book is available on all major platforms. The ebook is only $7.99, and this book is going to share how creativity. The author here today is going to share how his book is changing the lives of businesses, entrepreneurs, and lives personally. So help me welcome to the stage the incredible, the amazing Mr. Robert Belle.
Oh, thank you so much, Marcus. With such an introduction, I feel like I'm in an NBA final and I'm just coming through the tunnel, So I'm ready. I'm ready to take that MVP trophy home.
Yeah, come and get the ring. He's coming to take the ring, y'all. Powerful, powerful, powerful. Sir, thank you for joining us on the Gentleman Style Podcast stage. I appreciate you. I appreciate you so much. I wanted to dive right in. You have a phenomenal resume, and your track record is extensive. But we all know that something inspired you. And so, what inspired you to go down? You have an incredible mind, and you can do anything that you set your mind to. Who's a mentor or a leader or a coach who has brought you into the industry today?
All right. And you know what? That's a great question because any kind of major move we make in life, there must be some sort of inspiration. It's not just about technical skills. Something must be inspiring you. And there have been many people who have inspired me along my journey, quite a number. But one I'd highlight for sure that's really helped me, someone who has helped me step to the stage, and stop playing small is a gentleman called Vusi Tembe Kao. He's a South African global thought leader. He's big. He has a TED talk that went viral, a TEDx talk that says the lie of small businesses. And his notion is all about, playing small is actually a disservice to not just ourselves, but to everyone else. Right. And if you look at the big conglomerates, the blue chip companies, they don't play small. Right. And it's not about necessarily playing big to have $1 billion balance sheets or, revenues at crazy amounts of money, but having the big impact. And in order for us to do that, you have to show up and you got to collaborate with others. So he has really inspired me to, show up. That's why I'm here on your podcast today. We're pretty much collaborating. This is not just a gain for me or a gain for you. We are coming together to deliver value to so many people out there.
Love that. I love that. And that's necessary. And thank you for sharing that. We all need a mentor. We all need that inspiration. There's always a thought leader who provokes and challenges the scope of thought and pushes us to our next level. So thank you for sharing that. My next question for you, your book, you talk about this in the book and you teach to this, you speak to this, you coach to this, you mentor to this. But how do we reclaim our creativity and increase our value and overall career satisfaction through creativity?
All right. That's a good question. To reclaim our creativity, we have to first get annoyed. Let me say that. You have to be dissatisfied. I use the word reclaim so intentionally because one, we have to realize that our creativity has been stolen from us. And I know that's such a controversial statement. It has been stolen from you because when something is stolen from you, what happens? It's taken from you without your permission,
You
isn't it?
feel violated.
Yeah, you're violated. And I can tell you, whatever factor it may be formal education, societal, family issues, work, your career, it sometimes takes things from us. We end up surrendering it without, given permission. We surrender our creativity, our thinking, our ideas to just fitting in, to looking like everyone else, to denying our God-given unique abilities, right? So we have to reclaim it. And to reclaim means to go on a mission to look for it. Meaning, and I tell people this, that reclaiming also means that willing to stop things that are working so that you can do the things that actually need to work.
Mm.
Right. And I'll say that again, right? When you're reclaiming your creativity, you have to get to the point where you're like, you know what, I'm going to stop doing whatever it is that I'm doing. It could be at a micro level or macro level so that I can make space, room, capacity, energy to do the things that I need to do. And that's step number one. Many of us don't reclaim our creativity because we don't have the space, time, energy, or assistance to actually reclaim the creativity. You feel
Right.
me?
Yeah.
Right? So you have to first make the step. And that might mean, listen, putting in after work, I'm going to start getting to a course, or I'm going to start hanging out with this kind of people, expand my network, right? And with recognizing that our creativity was taken from us, right? We have to say, I'm taking back what is rightfully mine. We must say and look for that idea generating in our minds and give ourselves permission to think, give ourselves permission to, and creativity here is not just artistic, right? It's about, this connecting the dots and thinking and giving yourself, sorry, time and space to look for a problem that you identify with, that you can assist, that you can work with someone. And it doesn't mean you have to be an Einstein and single-handedly come up with something. And truth be told, no one has ever single-handedly come up with anything. There's always a team in the background. There are always people bouncing ideas, right? So to reclaim that creativity, you need to take ownership that you are unique. You're not like anyone else. And it's not a bad thing. It's actually a wonderful thing because you're the only one who can produce what's inside of you. No one else can mimic that. Even if you and I have the same script, the way we read it and the way we present it will be absolutely different if I give myself permission to be me. When you go before me, you're like, whoa, Norman's pitch was good, right? But I can't copy you, right? I can't copy you. I have to bring it from my heart, right? I have to bring it from my heart and say, you know what? I have something of equal importance. And it may not compare like side by side with what Norman has, but this is what I can deliver of value. And I'll give you an example. I mean, I could
Please.
come here and I'm like, hey, I'm just talking to you. And then someone will send me a message on social media or send me an email. It's like, your podcast interview on the Gentleman Style podcast was so inspirational. I was in a dark place. You actually gave me motivation to keep going. And then I'll be like, what? But I didn't say anything different. It's like, yeah, every time I ask people what resonated with you, it's just the way you said it. You were just yourself, you were genuine. And that is that validation that I think we all seek.
Yeah. Love it. Love it. Love it. It's a Robert Bell, y'all. What I hear is your God given, right? Our creativity, what we are put on this earth to do is where we thrive and where we can be our best selves. And that's where we touch on the most. That's what you speak on. How did you come up with the name Blow the Lid Off for your book?
I think one thing I have to say is that I am a qualified accountant. So if you want to place me in terms of my bio and everything, because we tend to identify people by their profession, their accolades, they went to Harvard, etc. So it's strange that an accountant is talking about creativity or championing for creativity, right? How I came up with the title of the book, because when I started talking to my fellow accountants and finance professionals, banking guys in the banking industry, financial services, I was telling them that, look, the future, and this was like 20 years ago, the future of our profession is not just going to be number crunching and reporting. It's going to be about telling stories. It's going to be about connecting with people. And people are like, hey, like, we are accountants. We don't connect with people. Those are for the marketers. And lo
Mm,
and behold, automation has come in and just taken away so much manual labor from us, right? That
right.
we have now time and space. But what to do with that, people don't know. So I decided to call the book Blow the Lid Off because there seems to be this conspiracy that creativity are for those who have a hairstyle like this, or dress like this, or hang out at that cafe, or in that profession. And that's not the case. Once you're a living human being and you have breath in your body, you have the capability and ability to be creative. So that's why I called it blow the lid off. That's number one. There are two reasons. One is because I'm blowing the lid off this conspiracy that creativity is for some endowed few who have dipped into the waters and drank the spring. It's not about that. And number two, blow the lid off title also because I read the book is to help people just blow the lid off what's suppressing their creativity. In the book, I talk about how our creativity is suppressed. It's not necessarily gone away from us. Creativity actually never goes away from you in a sense. It's like a light that's just been dimmed and there's so many shades and blocks in front of it. So I wrote that book to help people just blow the lid off and make way. When you're trying to make a road, you blow, through a mountain and then you see a pathway, and that's why I wrote the book, because I want people to take the book, blow the lid off whatever is suppressing them in their career, in their relationships, in their life, in meaning of their life, and then they can see a beautiful road ahead that they can start the journey towards.
Woo! This is powerful. You guys, this is phenomenal. We needed this. I needed this. This does it for me. We have one quick commercial break. You guys stay tuned. Stay with us. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Good day, podcast listeners. This is your boy, Marcus Norman of Gentleman Style Podcast Show. I wanted to let you guys know that we will be rolling out a new feature and adding a join sponsor button next to the subscriber button here at the bottom of your screen. Once you click the button, it will display 3 membership levels. Gentleman Gentry, which is our entry level, Duke Duchess, which is our season level, and the Emperor and Empress, which is our most sophisticated level, which you will receive unique perks and benefits at each differing level and gain access to our community tab. We will also be sharing polls, upcoming events, and interviews, as well as receive feedback from our sponsors directly. Your support helps me find new and exciting guests to bring to the stage live. Well, in order to get the higher end speakers, it requires, you guessed it, money. So thank you for tuning in to my channel. And if becoming a sponsor sounds good to you, then select the join button below and choose your desired sponsor level. Let's continue to grow and serve the future of generations of men and women to come. Love you guys. Bye. Welcome back to the Gentleman Style Podcast Show. If you are tuning in, we have the incredible Mr. Robert Belle. He just broke down how our creativity is where we thrive and where we do our best God-given work. And that's what we need to get back to. And that's what we need to focus on. I wanted to thank Miss Erica Holmes for her sponsorship. These donations, if you see this at the bottom of the screen, these donations help support the channel and help us find new and exciting guests for you who can serve and take your business to the next level. So thank you, Miss Erica Holmes. We appreciate you very, very much. We have questions from our audience. Miss Hutchinson asks, how do we expand our network? How do we reach out and grow our networks and work in those spaces so we can thrive and grow?
All right. That's a good question. Think of a network just like a computer network. And in this day and age, at least now, blockchain is a big technology. You're adding a node to a network, right? So in order to expand your network, you got to first realize that you are part of a network. Right. Don't think you're just idle. A lot of times people say, oh, I want to expand my network. And they are going out to look to see who can I connect with and who do I need to grow. Absolutely. That's good to do. But the first place to start, which is in your domicile area, is to realize you have a network that's been dormant, right? Who do you know? Right? Who is in your circle, friends, a neighbor? And it's not someone who you have to be speaking to regularly. It's someone who you need to make a connection with, an actual deep connection. Networking is not about exchanging business cards and saying, you give me business, I'll give you business, right? It's about fostering a connection, being part of a network so that whenever an opportunity arises, it flows through the network. So you have to first position yourself that you can provide value to others. And then you present yourself with your network, even if it's one person, to join to someone else, because you have to figure out why am I networking and what am I trying to achieve, what do I want to serve? What do I want to bring to someone? Because you can network in so many different ways. You want to network professionally, you want to network personally, you want to network spiritually, right? You got to know what do you want to do and what do you want to add for your network. So lay out in your life, like, listen, these are areas in my life where I need growth. But these are also areas in my life where I think I've made a few journeys, a few steps that some people can benefit from. Because I'll tell you something, don't ever deny the power of reverse networking. When you help someone out, someone who you've helped out knows someone who might be able to help you out. And I can tell you it's worked for me every single time, because when I've served people willingly, mentees, coaches, they're always like, you know what you're saying is so good. Let me connect you with this person. And you network organically.
Love it. Love it. Love it. Great. Thank you for that. We have another question from our VIP sponsor of the show, Miss Erica. Her question is pertaining to the book. Blow the Lid Off is creating a space to be your authentic self. Is that correct?
It shouldn't even be a question. It's a statement. It's absolutely correct. That's why I wrote the book. Is about, increasing your income and letting your light shine, right? It's you increase your value, right, by being your authentic self. And the reason why I say that, as I said earlier in the show, is that no one else is good at being you than you. I know it's an overheard cliche, I know, but let's quantify it, right? Let's quantify it. No one has the combination of experiences, insights, view about life, tastes, and preferences that they knew. No one else has that. And even if they happen to mimic it, it's just like a fingerprint. Even if they happen to mimic it, you can also change the presentation. Myself and someone else can have the exact same content, but the presentation of it, I mean, even your culture, your tribe, wherever you may come from, that has a bearing on it. So some people can connect with you on so many different levels. So the book is about finding your authentic self, but not just superficially or surface level. It's gonna take you deep to really challenge yourself and, like, why am I really in this job? What am I really doing in life? Is this everything that I want to achieve? Because you know what, a lot of us are, let me not even say unhappy. I think happiness is neither here or there. A lot of us are dissatisfied, right? Because you can be happy but dissatisfied. I'm happy I don't have any bills, right? But you're dissatisfied because you're not really producing anything of value. So that's why I wrote the book.
Mr. Robert Bell, y'all. So some people, we get in the mundane, we get in the isolations, we get down into the nitty gritty, and just like you said, we have to dive deep. This book is going to make us peel back those layers and dive deep. Can you spill some tea and share? What are some signs, or what are some symptoms that I am not operating in my most creative self? What are the side effects? What should I be looking for? What are the red flags to know, hey, I'm not operating in my creative space. I'm not being my best self. This isn't where I'm supposed to be. What are some flags that people can know and identify with to say, okay, I'm not in the right space, or I am in the right space? Can you share some of those?
Yeah, and I'll share one. I think I have a lot of controversial points. One red flag is when you're trying to preserve too much. A lot of times we have this notion, I want to go to college, get into a good graduate program, etc, so I can get a six-figure job, right? Unfortunately, that is trying to preserve. You really want a six-figure job because you don't want to put yourself in a position where you have to think, where you have to go to hunt for food. You want to be comfortable. Yes, you may sound like you want to be comfortable, but at the deeper level, you're trying to preserve. You want to play it safe. So we want that six-figure income because we want to play it safe. Rarely do we have people saying that, look, I want to give what I have. I want to dig so deep so that I can produce what I have. And I want to see what the world will give me back in return for producing that. Now, that's about being creative, right? So one red flag is when you're trying to preserve. And let me tell you how this looks. You're being too productive. You're trying to get to email zero, right? Zero inbox. You're trying to respond to every message. Every day you wake up, you have a to-do list. And I love to-do lists. Don't get me wrong, right? But when you wake up, do you have a to be list? You have to have a list of to be, because you can't spend your whole time doing things. And yes, it's achieving you and getting you closer to your goals, but you have to have space to be you. And the only how you can do that is by creating, right? And you can't put creating just on a to-do list. Oh, at 10, I'm going to create. Yes, you can if you're writing a book or doing a podcast and etc. But outside of that, you have to have time and space to be you, to have honest conversations with yourself. It's like, you know what? That coworker that I have, every time he comes in the Zoom meeting, I really feel irritated. Why do I feel irritated? What is it that makes me irritable, right? What's holding me back? So what you do, you probably avoid the Zoom call, right? Those are red flags that you're not being in your authentic self, because when you're in that space of always creating, you don't have the capacity to just start looking at what everyone is doing. That's one of the biggest red flags. The second one I'll leave you with, Norman, red flag that we're not in our truly creative self is when we are not being challenged. It's a big red flag. All about the comfort zone. If you're too comfortable, you're not creating, right? If you're not, this is how I put it. If you're not doing scary things, then you're not growing and you're not creating.
Love it. We have another question from another guest of the show. Welcome, Mr. Ramon Pierce. Good morning. What do you suggest entrepreneurs do to establish their value proposition?
Oh, thanks for that question. It's a good question. It's a very packed question. I'll try to answer it in a very concise manner. Don't try to beat the competition. I coach a lot of small business owners and entrepreneurs. Don't try to beat the competition. When I started my business, I set out to be an accountant who keep books for people, and I followed the advice. Try to get X number of clients, paying you X amount of money, and you got it. I'm telling you, I was just like, what? This just doesn't. It didn't feel genuine to me, right? That's for me. So I realized that my strength lies in less of a transactional relationship, right? Less than like, give me your books, give me your papers, I give you, do your tax returns. That just wasn't me, right? I wasn't built for that. Let me say that, right? I was more on a relational kind of thing. I want to find out, why did you start this business, right? And I've challenged a lot of entrepreneurs and small business people I coach. So they started a business, but you can see where the business has gone and what the original goal was for that business are miles apart. But they're doing this because this is what's paying the bill. So if you want to get your value proposition, go back to your big why. Why do you want to be an entrepreneur? And hint, you don't become an entrepreneur because you can't find a job. You don't become an entrepreneur because you've been retrenched, or you've been sent home. You don't become an entrepreneur. You become an entrepreneur because you are as passionate about a problem as the people who you are serving.
Woo! I hope that helped, Mr. Ramon. That helped me. That helped me. We go through huddles and ups and downs in our lives all the time, and so that is huge, sir. I wish I could give you a mic so you could drop it. Don't drop that mic. I want to give you one so you could drop it. Woo! That is powerful.
That was the game winning shot.
Yeah, that was it. That was from the free throw line. Oh my gosh. We have one more quick commercial break, you guys. Stay with us. Stay tuned. Don't go anywhere. We be right back. We have a short commercial break from our sponsors.
Support for Gentleman Style Podcast is brought to you by Manscaped, who is the best in men's below-the-waist grooming champions of the world. Manscaped offers you precision engineering tools for your family jewels. Manscaped just launched their 4th generation trimmer, the Lawnmower 4.0. You heard that right, the 4.0. Join over 2 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped with this exclusive offer for you. 20% off free worldwide shipping with the code GENSTYLE at manscaped.com.
We are back to the Gentleman Style Podcast Show. We have the incredible Mr. Robert Belle.
Thank you.
Mr. Belle, what advice, what words of encouragement would you give to that young man or that young woman out in the audience who says, I'm just not creative enough. I can't be a creative. I can't operate in my best self. My destiny, my life is to just be here doing this one thing. What would you say to that young boy or young girl?
The advice I'll give is you really need to listen to yourself. You need to listen to your voice. That is not yourself speaking. That is not your voice speaking. That's actually the fear that's inside of you speaking. Strangely enough, no one really have I met people who say, I know I am not creative. No one has ever with certainty says, I am not creative. Usually we say, I don't feel creative. I don't think I'm being creative enough. There's a bit of uncertainty. There's a bit of shakiness happening there. And I can tell you, it's not a bad thing. I'm not going to shame you. Do not feel ashamed. If you get that feeling, it's perfectly okay. Because do you know what's happening? You are at the precipice of your comfort zone, and you're leaving the comfort zone. And when you leave the comfort zone, this is what I say: you're also leaving the comfort of safety. You are leaving the place where you were safe, secure, outcomes were guaranteed, and you're getting to a place of unknown. You're getting to a place of no guarantees, right? And it's okay to feel a bit worried. It's okay to feel a bit shaky, right? Because creativity is not just about feeling and inspiration, it's also about perspiration and courage. You gotta perspire, you gotta put in the work and be like, I don't know what's gonna happen here, but I'm taking the leap. I don't know what's gonna happen here, but I'm gonna take the jump. When you're there, that's the best time to make the move. Let me tell you, if you feel that you don't think your podcast is going anywhere, you're just one episode away. I'm telling you that. If you feel, you're not an author, just start writing. Writing posts on social media, right? Just start writing. I never imagined I would be an author. I'm dyslexic. I couldn't write to save my life. I spell badly. My sentence constructions are horrible. I don't speak well. And people will constantly tell me, your words are so inspirational. I was like, what? There was just this cognitive dissonance. Like, what are people saying? I don't, and you know what was happening? I was actually telling myself, like, I have not given myself a vote of confidence. Give yourself a vote of confidence. Trust yourself. Believe in what God has put inside of you. And then acknowledge it. Be grateful that people are being impacted. Let me tell you, so many people can't be lying to you, right? So many people can be lying and say, you know what, your words inspire me. Your podcast inspires me. You know what you said. Have you ever been in a situation where you just called someone and said, hey, I'm just want to check up on you? And then 2 years later, like, that day when you called me, man, you don't even know how you lifted my spirits. And you're downplaying this power that you have inside of you. Marion Wilson says it the best, right? It's not the darkness that we're afraid of, it's the light that's inside of us. We're scared of it. We're playing small for too long. So if you don't feel creative, if you think creativity is not for you, it's absolutely for you. Because the only people who say that are the people who know deep down inside they have something inside of them. Someone who knows they're absolutely not creative will never say that. Last thing I'll say, it's in the middle of winter and the mango tree fruits are bare. And he's gone a while without bearing fruit. And he turns to the apple tree and he says, apple tree, I just don't feel like a mango tree anymore. And apple tree turns to him and says, my friend mango tree, you just need to keep watering the soil, trying to get some sunlight, get those nutrients, and one day the fruit will come. And then the season changed and the fruit started to produce because he didn't give up. He didn't stop perspiring. He kept writing a word. He kept singing a song. He kept writing a note. He kept connecting to the problem he needed to solve. He thought about the farmer who needs those mangoes to make mango juice. He thought about everyone else who relies on his output. So when you feel sometimes that you have nothing of value to create, think about the person who's waiting and in dire need of what you have to produce.
Sir, where can my audience connect with you? Where can we grow with you? How can we get our copies on the book?
Fantastic. You can connect to me through my website, www.robertabell.com. From there, you can connect to me on major social handles, LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. I try to be as active as possible. And my book is available where, as they say, great books are sold: Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Walmart. You can find the e-copy, print copy, wherever books are sold across the world and in some specified bookstores. So yeah, grab a copy. And please, if you do, leave me a review, because that helps me in my creative process also to get better. Tell me what you identify with, because that's where I zone in. So thanks, guys. I hope you appreciate the nuggets we shared. And you know what? Keep creating, because that's how you create value.
Powerful. Woo! I'm gonna leave this website up on the screen. Sir, I want to say this to you publicly. I want to say thank you for taking time out of your busy day to not give up and to inspire and to uplift and to write this book, because we need you. The world needs you and they need what you're doing. And so I want to say this to you publicly. Don't ever quit. Thank you.
Thank you so very much. And guys, for full disclosure, I was telling someone in the backstage, for some strange reason, I woke up this morning, my voice was like almost gone. And I said, I know someone needs to hear it. There's someone who's going to tune in this morning that this is going to help. So I hope that was you. That was that person. Let us know. When we say that was him. And you know what? Just before we click record, I was really feeling, I was feeling like, oh man, like, thoughts started to come into my head. Can something just happen and this interview doesn't happen? And I don't demonize those thoughts. What I just say is I focus on the positive. And I said, you know what? There's someone Norman needs to speak to today, and I'm gonna show up. And just as he clicked record, just not before, not any second before, as he clicked, we're going live. The energy came, and I hope I brought it to you.
You did. You did. I needed this. I needed this the most. I appreciate you, sir. Been
Thank
going
you.
through the trials and tribulations. Will come. The rain will come, but there's sunlight at the end. And so thank you. And I am going to
Yeah. Can
work
I
hard.
say?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I'm going to work hard on being my best creative self and only working in spaces that feed into that.
Absolutely. I was just going to give you one more gem. You know what, Norman? You don't keep pushing on. What I tell people right now, quit trying to quiet the storms in our lives. Stop it. Stop trying to quiet the storms. I need to figure out how to solve this problem. No. You know what? Trust God and learn to be quiet in the storm. Learn to just stand there and let those winds blow. Let that rain beat you down. I'm not saying be crazy and get wet and don't get an umbrella, but just learn to be poised, learn to be calm, learn to have trust because something will appear. You will see the light, you will find the path if you stay calm. Don't panic because panic will run you the other way. Forge ahead.
I hope this helps someone. It definitely helped me, y'all. Thank you all for tuning in to the Gentleman Style Podcast Show. I hope this message has served you and helps you in some way. It's helped me for sure. Thank you all for tuning in to the Gentleman Style Podcast Show this morning. I hope this has been impactful and helpful. And like I said, like I always end every show, take care of your family, take care of your homes, and always take care of business. This is Marcus Norman of Gentleman Style Podcast Show, your favorite host and gentleman, and Mr. Robert Belle. Blow the lid off. Take this year by storm and do your best. Love you guys. Bye.
Bye-bye.